You know, John, we're always saying how the taser isn't all that reliable, but when it works, boy, does it work.
And also, meth, not even once. Hi everyone, welcome to today's badge cam lesson here at Active Self-Protection. I'm your host, John Correa.
I'm your co-host, Mike Williver. Today's video comes to us from Los Angeles, California.
The Filster Enigma is a revolutionary holster chassis system that completely divorces your holster and gun from your clothing, giving you unprecedented concealment whether in sweatpants or formal wear. It attaches to your AIWB holster via the wing and allows incredible flexibility for your concealed carry. Get yours at the link below. 911 has received a couple of calls of a man with a knife threatening people right outside this business. This car is just showing up to it. We have multiple badge cams of the interaction. Let's listen in.
There's got a blue shirt on, right, and he's, looks like he's walking another male out of the furniture store.
Hey, get on the ground! Get on the ground! What's going on, dude? Relax. Hey, what's going on? What happened? Fuck it! Fuck it! Hey, roll over, bro. Roll over.
Hey, dude, stop. Stop. Hey, sir. Sit down over here. Hey, what's going on? What happened? What happened? Hey, he's on meth. Chill out. What happened? Hey, don't fight him. Chill out. Make sure you got it. Get him back. Fuck it. Hey, relax. Stop. Hold on. Stop. Hey. Roll over, bro. Roll over. Just couple more. Give me your other hand, dude. Give me your other hand. Pick him up. Watch with the blood. Got him. Hey, what? X62, you show code 4, suspect's going to be in custody. You can have the RA respond west of Broadway. Get on the ground! What's going on, dude? Relax. What happened? What's going on? What happened? Chill out. I'm going to take this. Fuck you! Oh, hey, roll over. Hey. Fucking relax. Emma, you want to just kill me, bro? No, nobody's going to kill you. Give me my thing. Calmado. Give me fucking my thing, pussy. Oh. RA should be, Hey, dude. Who hit you, man?
Our methed out dude here did get a bit of a head wound, a laceration from hitting his head after being tased. They took him to the hospital, got his wounds taken care of, got him down off the meth, and as far as I can find, they did not file any charges against him at all.
In its use case, taser, incredibly useful tool, and this is that use case. Let's talk about it.
Mike, the first thing I notice here when we go to the badge cams immediately is that the officer on the passenger side gets out with the PR-24 baton, which we don't see those issued very much anymore, of course, because, you know, you're not allowed to give people the, the polyurethane shampoo that those can turn into, but that's a very useful tool in its place.
100%. That was the first baton I was issued as a police officer. I last carried one of those in 94s. It was expandable, actually. They made an expandable model, Monadnock did, and yeah, using those holding the handle to spin strike, generally speaking, isn't all that effective. There's just not enough power behind it. However, straight jabs, all sorts of stuff you can do for crowd control, and like you said, John, just for getting somebody under control, wrist control, arm control, those things were fantastic. You have to train a lot to learn that stuff because it's not very intuitive. But with that said, I did enjoy my PR-24's flexibility.
And listen, I think it's interesting here that the officer, with that tool at his disposal, was like, hey, we don't need to do that right now. Let's kind of chill out. So I love the fact that they've got force options and that they choose the right one for the moment. That's a very appropriate thing that these officers did. Now, I also notice here that they approach really well. This guy obviously is amped up. Notice the officer on the left has his fingers out and splayed, hands kind of down. That is a wonderful body language of de-escalation because, of course, you can see that this guy's hands are empty, so he doesn't have a gun, he doesn't have a knife or anything like that. I don't need to ramp it up. So they leave him a little bit of space and try to chill out. That's good de-escalation strategy.
This is obviously very early on in this encounter, so they don't know yet whether will be able to open up a line of communication with this guy. We find out obviously they can't. He doesn't want to communicate. He just wants to do methamphetamine stuff. But a comment on the officer's hand positioning here. What I love about this, besides being sort of a soothing, calming, hey, let's talk about this look to it, his hands are still in a perfect position to draw any sort of weapon he might need or to parry this guy if he rushes him. So great job on the hands. Great job trying to de-escalate. I'm willing to bet these cops have been around for a while and they already probably figured, hey, the odds of being able to actually communicate with this guy are pretty slim, but they gave it a try to their credit.
I mean, obviously what we have here is we have a contaminated thinking, high emotion, non-compliant person, not going to be able to communicate with them very well. De-escalation's not going to work very well. So, again, I do actually like the taser here. You do notice that he's using one of the newer model tasers that has multiple shots available in it. And that first one, he probably didn't get enough prong spread. This is like ideal case use for the taser here, though. The dude is shirtless. He's within range. Now's the time when this tool is useful.
Yeah, just a moment ago, John, I did want to point out, they left the driver door open. We've been over this a few times on the channel. The driver door to the Cruiser is open, and this guy was closer to that door than they were, so at some point, if he wanted to go bananas and go jump in the car and try to take off, he probably could have done that. So just keep the door closed, officers. As far as the taser goes, I'll say, as I've said before, I'm not an expert on the taser, but, I mean, no shirt is no shirt. I mean, the odds of getting, even at this distance, of getting good contact with those prongs is pretty high. And I don't know how many FUs you get before you dispense the taser justice, but there was 4 here at least.
Yeah, and listen, he didn't get it on the first one, so then he goes for the second one. Okay, fine. I just want to recognize when the taser works, it works 100%. You get neuromuscular incapacitation, so it works on a frequency such that it overrides muscle control. Now, the negative of that, of course, is that he's not able to protect his head when he falls. And so you're gonna get a head injury, and you wanna make sure that the value of using the taser is greater than the cost of the head wound. I think in this case it certainly did, because otherwise they're gonna have to go hands-on with a Mexican American, but it's certainly something to be aware of.
Yeah, I mean, there's no way around it. If the taser is effective as it was here, you're gonna fall like a redwood and almost certainly hit your head, at least a little bit. There's no way for officers to run around with gym mats to throw it underneath the suspect when he falls. I mean, I understand why the taser is kind of a first go-to in this situation, because it's fast. It's really quick to get out and deploy, whereas your pepper spray, you might have to fumble for half a second to figure out, hey, where's the cap? Where's the opening? How do I get my thumb in there? Whatever. And at that sort of bad breath distance, you want something as quickly as possible to avoid having to go hands-on. So in this case, I think that was the only other option, was to go start grappling around with this guy, and that's the last thing you want is a bloody, shirtless guy who's high on meth rolling around on the floor. It's a recipe for disaster.
And the other thing I like about taser use, though, in this particular case, is you notice it resets his attitude, too. He doesn't come out of it like still, oh, okay, let's fight, F you, F you. He comes out of it like, what just happened to me? Okay, bro. And I love how calm they are. Okay, bro, just let's roll you over, bro. Let's get you in a good spot, bro. Take your time, bro. It's okay, bro. And that attitude adjustment, we jokingly call taser adult spanking sometimes, can be a very useful tool. Now, when we're gonna go to the other officer here, I wanna notice a couple things. Number one, he comes out of the Cruiser with a gun in his hand. And given the fact that they had a call here of a man with a knife threatening people, I think that was really appropriate, because he probably and rightly thought he was going to have to end up, pointing a gun at somebody and demanding he drop a knife. But I also note he very quickly puts it away, and you got to know when to put the gun away just as much as you got to know when to get it out.
Yep, I mean, you kind of said it all there. I don't have a lot to add to that. He thought he was going to be dealing with a knife-wielding suspect, and as soon as he realizes he's not, the gun gets put away, which is perfect. We do see, unfortunately, sometimes here in this space, we see that tool fixation that we talk about, where somebody has a tool in their hand. It's like, well, this is what I have, so I'm going to make this work. I'm going to fit this square peg into this round hole. But he to his credit here, I believe he's the same officer that had his hands out in that sort of, hey, let's everybody calm down position. So for him to switch gears like that, I think switching gears is probably one of the things that's the hardest to get used to as a police officer. You go from tasing him to, okay, relax, we're good here, we're going to put you in cuffs, like you said a few minutes ago. You go from a gun in your hand to no gun to hands out, like, hey, let's talk about this. So that ability to switch gears on a dime is critical to being a law enforcement officer.
And I love that these partners are communicating together, too. They're saying, hey, man, he's on meth. Hey, man, chill out. Hey, don't fight him. So they're talking to each other. What's going on here? What should we do? And I really think that the last part of this here, when they get him in custody and they're waiting for the ambulance and those things, I just really want to commend these officers for incredibly professional demeanor. That these guys, this guy's F you want to fight me, why don't you kill me? I'm going to try to kick you while I'm in custody. And it could be real easy to give this guy a little bit of, what they used to call an educational beatdown. But they don't do that. They just stay professional and stay invested in his care. And I think that's commendable.
Yeah, 100%, John. I couldn't agree more. Just remember, officers, deputies, when someone is cursing at you and giving you the business about how your mom is in bed with a neighbor or whatever they're saying, F you, don't kill me, just remember they're not talking to you. They're talking to the badge. They're talking to the authority symbol, to the authority figure. And it's nothing personal. You just can't take it personally. So in this case, these officers came in, switched gears super fast from possible blame of the knife to just a guy who's out of his mind on meth. They tried to de-escalate and they couldn't. And here they are now after a successful taser use, a good use case of a taser. And they were able to get this guy in custody relatively safely and cover everybody's ass.